Good morning. And happy Father's Day. All right, so in honor of Father's Day today, for the children's message, I thought I would pass on some wisdom from my own father, all right? And I also have free gifts today for all of you, which is Gorilla Glue, okay? Now, my dad, after he retired, he took on a job down at, well, at that time it was called Feathering Farms, but you probably know it as Stone Fence Acres. It's owned by our neighbor, Jeff Coons. And I think he's in the process of selling it, or he has sold it at this point. But 20 years ago, it was called Feathering Farms. My father, when in his retirement, became the caretaker down there. So he went down there, he would mow and fix things around the farm. In the summer, I would go with him and I would play down there on all those beautiful big stone walls. And I can remember watching my dad down there fix things. And sometimes, when he would fix things around that farm, sometimes he would just take it, throw it away, and we would drive up to Ace Hardware and buy something new. And other times, he would use glue to fix something, or he'd use duct tape to fix something, or we would use a screw or a nail to fix something. And I can remember at one point he was gluing something with Gorilla Glue. It was like a piece of trim around the house. And I just asked him, I said, "Why are you gluing that and not just throwing that away?" And he said, "When things break, you have to decide whether you're going to glue it, nail it, duct tape it, or whether you're going to throw it away." And he said, "The trick is figuring out which is the appropriate option in life." And I don't think he meant that as particularly philosophic. He wasn't necessarily that type of guy. But when you think about it, there's something very, very philosophic and profound about that statement. That in our lives, we have choices when things break, whatever it is, whether we're going to glue it and fix it, or whether we're just going to take it and throw it away. And so, just the other week, Ashton, who's in the back there right now, his tractor was outside, and the dog came up and chewed on the toy tractor. And of course, he brought the tractor to me, and I had to look at it and decide, can I fix this? Or do I just have to go get a new one? In that case, the dog had savaged the tractor. We just had to go buy a new tractor. Okay, but there's other times where you have toys where you can fix it with glue. And again, the trick is figuring out what is the appropriate option. Do I glue it and fix it, or do I throw it away? But this applies to our own lives too. Right? Think about a car. You have a car, and it breaks down, and you take it to the mechanic shop, and you keep taking it to the mechanic, and it says, well, now you're going to have to put so much money in it, or you're just going to have to get rid of it and get something new, right? So this keeps going through our whole lives, this idea, do I fix it and salvage it, or do I start new? And on a spiritual sense, think about as we get older, and our bodies start to break down, and we go to the human mechanic shop, which is the doctors, and we try and fix it. But then there's a point in all of our lives, there's a point in every single one of our lives where we realize we can no longer fix it. And what happens in that moment? God gives you a whole new life. And so on Father's Day today, I just want you to go home and think about your life, everything you do, how it's a decision. Am I going to fix it and glue it, or do I need to go get something new? And that is a profound decision in each of our lives. So in honor of my father, each of you today needs to go home with a Gorilla Glue. Okay, each of you, even if you're not a dad, all of you need to pick up a Gorilla Glue. They're up here on the piano, and there's also a box over here. I have plenty of this stuff. And because my father was a stickler for good quality stuff, I did not purchase the cheap Chinese brand super glue. This is made in the USA Gorilla Glue. Okay, that's the good stuff. Let me tell you, whatever you decide to glue with this glue, make sure you want it glued, because you're not getting it unglued after you use Gorilla Glue. All right? Happy Father's Day.